Name's Agostino. I'm based in Montreal, Canada, province of Quebec. Ari and I have spoken over the years. How long have we known each other? 15 years at least,
Something like that, yeah.
I think. And it's just great to be here. Ari, you're ever present in my interactions and this whole mastery thing. I love it. I gotten that part of it right. I think the whole mindset of when I talk to someone now, I
Right,
remember this. I hear it all the time. You're not trying to make a sale.
right.
You're trying to find out if there's a fit. So I feel really comfortable with that. It's like it makes me not shy to talk to someone, right? Because I'm not trying to sell you, right? And so I think I got that pretty well. So I was thinking, what can I ask Ari where sometimes I'm in a point where I'm not sure, what the next step. So that part I think I have good. I have under control. It's the part where I go from transitioning from the iceberg
Okay.
to, okay, what's my next step? Like in my case, I'm in the insurance business.
Yes.
So I may want to do an application. If it's life insurance, of course, I also do group insurance. But right now, let's say I was talking about life insurance for argument's sake. The next step would be to do an application. So I'm thinking, how do I transition from, boy, this guy really does have a problem.
Yeah.
And I love this too. Instead of I know I can do a great job. Now, see, I think that's the sad part, isn't it? Because when you talk that way, you sound like everybody else. Even if you know it, you got to say it might be a good idea for us to circle back and yada yada yada. So I got that too. But sometimes I don't talk to me about the transition from we've gone down the iceberg, and sometimes like I want to do an application on the guy.
Yeah.
How would you transition? Give me a couple of scenarios there, transitioning from that
Sure.
to the next step, Ari, okay?
So what you're missing there is a middle step before the application. It's a meta step because where they have to first feel comfortable, not with you, but with your process. If you jump into a quickly application, that's a very high threshold offer decision they have to make. They have to commit to already jumping right into the whole application process, which is halfway to committing to going forward. So
Right.
you need a middle step between that from the iceberg to that application process, which is what I call a roadmap, where you need a visual tool that shows them here's my process for how we work from here. Some kind of left to right visual tool that shows in each stage of what your process is with them. Now, I know you have a process now, and you probably explain it to them verbally, but verbally, they don't necessarily connect with you at a deep level if you didn't show them visually. So if you had a visual way to left to right, like a flow chart to show them next phase is we do an application. Next phase is we wait for an answer. Next phase is we make adjustments. Next phase is we get the quotes. Next phase is literally it's your process that you do automatically, but put into a visual tool because you want them to buy your process conceptually first before they commit to doing your process. It sounds kind of weird because you're like, wait a second, that's just how it works. They do an application, they sign them up. Well, that's fine from your point of view, but
I
from their
think
point of
that's
view,
huge. You know what, Ari, I did have that. We worked on that together. And now that I think of it, what I would change is I'd make it more simple because I think I put in too much in that product. I mean, and
yes,
that's not your doing, it's mine. But now looking at it verbally, I have a simple process. So I need to make it a visually simple process. We do this, we get feedback, that tells us where we stand, and then we
yes.
can make the next decision. And
See,
that's how I do it pretty good job verbally, but I think you're so right. I need the visual, right?
verbally, they don't believe you. They got to see it to believe it.
Right.
What you're saying is not processing in their brain because they don't trust
Okay.
you enough yet. But when they see it, they go, oh,
Okay.
I understand how it works now. That's the
Okay.
missing
So
piece to bridge
I'm
them
gonna do that.
to the next step. Then when you walk them through it, here's what you say. You say, what are your thoughts on the process? And take your fingers like this, put over your mouth, and sit back like a therapist.
Okay.
Don't say a word. Let them sit with it and look at it. And they're going to say, makes sense. And you're going to say, where would you like to go from here?
Ari, I love that. And I think, tell me if I'm on the right track. What I read inside of that also is that there's nothing coercive about this process. It makes total sense, doesn't it? Right? So why would I be worried? This guy's not trying to rope me into something.
Exactly. He doesn't trust you enough yet to commit, but he needs one more thing from you. He needs to see your formula for success. He has to know you will not drop the ball. You can't tell him it. He won't believe you. You got to show it to him.
And so I'm going to see if I can get one of your people, because I don't know how to edit the document, but I'll reach out to
Let
somebody
us know.
in your
We'll work
office.
on it for you. No
And
problem.
Ari, one last thing, if you have a moment, or if you don't, then it'll go for another time. What is the difference in all of that? Because here I am all primed, I'm all ready, I'm getting all the steps together. But now it's been my good fortune that I have a big time tax lawyer bringing me in and speaking crazy like I'm the guru about me. So it's like I don't need to do a needs analysis. I know what the problem is. It's an estate. It's a tax issue. The tax lawyer already did that.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Don't make any assumptions. Start with them as if they're cold. Introduction to you is great. You got the lead. But you have to start with, let's take a step back for a second here.
Do the same. Do the same, in other words, as always.
When you go see a doctor for a second opinion, he doesn't say to you, show me the first opinion and we'll start from there. He says, we'll start with my process, which is an x-ray, and I'll tell you what to do. So don't just take what you've been given and jump off the back of that. Just take a step back, go down the iceberg, roadmap, and onboard them, and you're done.
Yeah. In other words, to me, it was a different situation. It's almost like he doesn't want me to do a lot of the preamble, but I should still do my process.
You don't have to sell them. Just go through the questions you need to know from them, from their perspective, because they got to trust you first. Just because they trust him doesn't mean they trust you enough to see them, yeah, but not to commit to you.
Questions meaning iceberg.
Yes.
Okay, got you. All right.
All right, good to see you again, Ago.
Same here. Thanks for having me on.